Good morning. First, I want to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Anyway, today I want to talk about getting out of debt. This is a topic that I struggled with for years, just knowing what to do to get out of debt. And so I'm just going to share just personal experience as to how I got out of debt, like, the steps that I took. So the very first thing is to make a decision. You have to make a decision. You have to, because getting into debt, there's a mindset there. There's a mindset, and my mindset was just, I don't have the money, so I ain't gonna pay them. Which is not the right mindset. I never called them, and I'm talking about the bill collectors, obviously. I never called them to say, hey, I'm struggling this month. Is there any reason why you couldn't give me, I don't know, can I pay a lower amount? I didn't do any of that. I did not have any communication with any of my bill collectors. And so that made the issue worse, because they were like, oh, no, she not trying to just, not communicate and not pay, and just, avoiding them. They would call and, yeah. You may know. But so the first thing is, again, the mindset has to change. You have to take ownership of your stuff, of your crap, of your situation. You have to take ownership of it. No matter what the reason is for you being there. I mean, you may have a very valid reason. You may have had some medical bills that you just couldn't pay. You could have any reason in the world why you couldn't pay, but the fact is you couldn't pay, and you need to communicate that, number one, with your bill collector, whoever they may be, whether it be a car, a credit card, or anybody. Communication, and what I have learned in my 50 plus years is that's a level of maturity. That's a level of maturity, communication. Because I'm telling you, in my 20s, 30s, I didn't have no communication skills in terms of, I was not communicating with someone that I owed money to that I couldn't pay. I just felt like I'm going the other way, and I'm not answering the phone. But you need to communicate with them. And I know the topic is getting out of debt, but this is like the beginning. You've got to communicate with all your bill collectors. Then you have to and you have to take ownership of it. Okay, taking ownership, number one. If we got to put numbers on this, and communication is number two. Communicate with your bill collectors. Let them know what you can do and what you can't do, and they will be more appreciative of you when you do communicate. And then if you set a like, okay, I can't pay you today, something happened, I could pay you next Tuesday, or whatever the date is. I could pay you next month. You need to come through next month. Whatever your date is that you said you could pay them, you need to come through. Because if you make an arrangement, a payment arrangement, and then don't come through with that, that's bad. That's bad. So come through with it. but just communicate. Anyway, after that, see where you are. And I'm not writing these numbers down, so if I get off track, forgive me. But I think number 3 would be see where you are. Like, when I was deep in debt, and I couldn't pay, anybody, or I thought I couldn't pay anybody. And I'm just tossing the bills in this one corner of my room. I remember I had a little desk in the corner, and I would just throw those bills right on top of that desk, and they were just piling up. So when you decide that you're going to take responsibility and you're going to communicate with these people, you got to see where you are, because I think in most cases you don't even know how much debt you owe. I didn't know where I was at. I didn't know if I owed $10,000. I mean, this is God's honest truth. I didn't know if I owed $10,000 or $50,000. I couldn't tell you, and I'm exaggerating to make a point. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you how much I owed. I just couldn't tell you, because it was like I was just pushing it under the rug. So, open up those statements, line them up, organize them, create a spreadsheet. That's one thing I did, is create a spreadsheet to see what you owed, where you were at, how much you owed. If it's $15,000, if it's, for some people it might be $5,000. It may not be a large amount, but to you it's large because you can't pay it, and I get that. But still, write it out so you know exactly how much it is. And keep in mind, one of the first things I did as well, once I did all these steps, is once I organized and I knew what I owed and what I owed who, I called these companies, and this is once I got a resource of income coming in. Okay, so I'm going to jump back a minute, and I apologize for being all over the place. But once you have communicated, you know where you stand, you know what the bills are. Now, let's say you're working a 9-to-5 job and you make X amount. Jesus, how are you going to stop suddenly like that? And there's other people behind you. Okay. Where was I? So you're going to look at your bills, see where you are, create that spreadsheet. Then if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you have a certain amount. You have basically a fixed income. If you work in a 9-to-5 job and you get the same amount every 2 weeks, twice a month, whatever your pay schedule is, once a week, whatever it is, you get the same amount. Oh, what you doing? What you about to do? You get the same amount, right? So if you're getting the same amount, wow, he just bogarted in there. Anyway, if you get the same amount, come on, dude, you need to be a little more aggressive with your driving. If you get the same amount, you've got to find income from somewhere. So the first thing I would do is look at your bank statement. Look at your bank statement. And I don't use cash a lot, because cash is an easy way to you have no trace of it, and you can't track it. You can't see, well, where did my money go? I spent my whole paycheck, and where did it go? You have no, and don't tell me you're going to save your receipts or whatever, but if you use a debit card, for example, if you use a debit card when you're, purchasing and you're paying bills and you're doing whatever, you can go back and track it. So I would track yourself for a couple of months. I did that recently for a whole nother reason, but I felt like I was spending more than I should be. So track it. Where's your money going? And so track your money, see where it's going, see where those holes are, because there's always holes, and you got to find the holes to see where the money is just going out. And once you find the holes, clog up the holes. For me, it was food. I was spending way, and still am, but I was able to identify I spend way too much money on food. So what does that mean? It means bringing my lunch. So I'm bringing my lunch, cutting down, where I can. Just find the holes. If you're buying shoes every week, or if you're getting your nails done every week and your hair done every week, and you got massive debt, that's a hole. So what can I do? Can I put on some press-on nails for 6 months till I can get this under control? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna care? The people that you're trying to impress, they either have their bills paid, or they're just like you, trying to impress you, and you're getting impressed and then going to get your nails done. So find the holes. Where are you? Where is money just leaving you, and very irresponsibly, if that's a word. Is that a word? Yeah, so find the holes, fill up the holes. So once you identify where that is, and then figure out how much money that represents, that you are losing every month, unnecessary. Let's say it might only be $100. Well, that's $100 that could go towards a bill. Okay, so find the holes. Then the next thing that I did is, okay, if you're working a 9 to 5, I'm just using a 9 to 5 for example. You could be working any type of hours or whatever. But if you're working a job and you like your job and you don't want to leave your job, I mean, I work a job. It's pretty consistent. I can go out here and try it, because one of my friends was trying to get me to apply for other jobs and make more money. Well, am I going to have certain, am I going to have the same benefits? Am I going to, like, you have to weigh the pros and cons of always just getting another job. That's not always the answer. Sometimes it is the answer. Sometimes it very well is the answer, that you're underpaid for your profession, for your education. You are underpaid, and there's jobs out there that will pay you, accordingly. So that may be it. You may have to dust your resume off and update it, and look for a better job that pays you more money. Okay, but in my case, that wasn't the case. I didn't want to leave my job, because I felt like long term, my job had some perks and some benefits that I needed, that I wanted rather. So anyway, so what I did is I got a part-time gig. Now, over the years, I've had multiple, they call them multiple streams. I've done direct sales, part-time. I've done, years ago, I used to always have a second job. And sometimes those little second jobs and those little part-time gigs or whatever, it's more money going out. Like I used to be in retail, for example. I used to work in retail part-time. Well, that was stupid because the money that I made went right back into the store. Right back into the store. I just, I spent my money that I made right there in the store. So don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. This is to get you out of debt, not to get you back in debt, or not to have you break even. This is to get you out of debt. So what you want to do is find and I know someone might be saying it's hard to find something. You know what, today it's not. There's so many different opportunities. There's so many online jobs, working remote, that you could work a part-time remote job at night, at home. Come home at night, have your dinner, and then get online and do whatever work you do, customer service or what have you. Don't tell me that today you can't find a part-time gig. It might only be paying, you may only make a couple $100s extra a week. But again, if you've identified where your budget, where those holes are, so let's say you got $100 from that. I'm just using, numbers from that, and now you've got this part-time job. So that money that you have now saved is going straight to those it's going straight to your debt. It's going straight to your debt. So yeah, that's how I got out of debt. And in 6 months I saw a significant change in not only my debt but my credit. I saw a significant change in my credit because now I was paying my credit cards again. I mean, I was still broke and I was still had bad credit, but I saw my score slowly go up and it gave me hope. So those are my tips for today for getting out of debt. Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Have a good one.